Them fly, set, racing, El Supremo, Mr. The Shade on the inside, beginning brilliantly, Sue Ellen Barlin, Cooler Bandit showing speeder, Kyle Dudior drove up the third and out wide was Placard, who's nice and handy, not far away was El Supremo, getting a check, Sue Ellen Barlin to go down the back, well back in the fray was Cool Drifter, back second last Cobram Store, and last of all Mally Rebel, off the back they go, Kyle Dudior the inside, here's Placard, the New South Wales Gallopers sprinted clear, Kyle Dudior running second and out wide was Cooler Bandit, but New South Wales Placard, and Placard's going to win at the final and win it brilliantly. Placard first, second home, and Kyle Dior running. The
greatest thrill in greyhound racing I've ever had, and I'm just wrapped to be here. It's been a family affair. People who are who are close to me and close to the greyhound. It's just been unbelievable. It's a huge thrill. I said to Trace, I said, look, you know, if we're going to try to win something of this race of this calibre, we've got to leave no stone unturned. I rang an old mate of mine and I said, listen, mate, and I'll mention his name in a minute. I said, will you do me a favour? And he said, what's that? I said, will you take the dog to Tasmania and look after him for 2 weeks? He said, 2 weeks? I said, please. And he said, what did you say? I said, please. Can you look after him for 2 weeks? And that was Mr. Jim Coleman and Christine Coleman. And the dog couldn't have been in better hands, and I can't thank them enough for looking after the dog for the fortnight. Prepared him, he ran the record here earlier in the week, and Jimmy had him dead set bouncing.
It was tight at the first corner, the 2, 6 and the 8, and you were there on the outside. What do you think?
From day one, once we found out we draw the 5, we always said luck. We always needed a bit of luck. And with Jim being down here and watching him come out the last couple of times, Jim said, to that peg, we've got to find a length. And I said to him, well, mate, how are you going to do that? He said, I've done it in the past. I said, oh. He said, he's got to be bouncing. I said, I hope so. And I think he was one of the best to begin. And I just think he probably got knocked a little bit, but he got himself in a good position. And you know, like I said, it was just a thrill. To be really honest with you, it wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for John McGeary, a very good friend of mine, John. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be involved with the pup or Jimmy. And I'm a bit sad John's not here tonight, because John owned the mother, Gem's Delight, and Jimmy trained it. And like I said, it was through Jimmy and Johnny that I got involved with the dog. And just a bit upsetting Johnny's not here tonight, but he was watching, him and Pam up at Tweed, they were cheering, and I know Johnny was here in spirit, and it just would have been good to have Johnny here, but no, like I said, but thanks very much, John, and I wish you were here tonight.
You've raised a lot of money with NADS over the years, and now something comes back, mate.
Yeah, like I said, you know, like people don't realise, I used to jump in the car and go to Dapto Dogs, and people think, oh, well, geez, Terry Hill's on Channel 9, he thinks he must get paid a lot of money for this. I actually received no money whatsoever. I done it for the love of greyhound racing. We got it on Channel 9, we give the sport a profile, and in the proceeds we raised $150,000 for the Children's Hospital, and that's all for greyhound racing and the Children's Hospital, which is a great thrill to me, and I've been a great lover of greyhounds for so long, and to get something back was great. Like I said, and this is not a lie, I get a thrill of winning Bull Eye Dogs. I mean, if I go to Bull Eye and I'm cheering exactly the same as I cheered tonight. I mean, I just love it, but just to be here and to do something like this, it's huge.
And elated Terry Hill, and why shouldn't he win a grand final of the Nutrients Nationals? Because he's put so much into the sport. Yeah,
it's interesting that he did ask Jimmy Coleman to train the dog while he's in Tasmania. Jimmy, as many people might not know, did rear the dog. He broke him in, raced him at Ipswich through the Ipswich Maiden Series, which he didn't win, as we know, but he raced successfully, and then he transferred him down here to the Kings, and history as we see it. And Jim McGeary was one name that Terry mentioned, and John owned the brood bitch Gem's Delight. She's a Ben Jason bitch out of Gembrook, Max Burdekin's breed, and I think a brother ran the fastest time in the Adelaide Derby heats, the South Australian Derby heats through the week. So they're very, very talented. Grand Gem's another one. Max Marvel's the dog that ran the fastest in the SA Derby heats. Yeah, very little brother. Yeah, exactly. And while I haven't got the record here now, was he the youngest dog in the final? Was he the least experienced? Just a marvellous performance. Were there any hard luck stories? Oh, certainly. I think the Wheelers would be thinking they had a chance, and certainly Robert Britton with Cool to Bandit, when they tangled at the first corner, they did each other no favours, and that's when Kyle Dior got through. But I think from there, the fact that Placard was going forward, had the courage to press on, and we all knew down the back, as was the case with Ostie's Joker, the race was all over. And he ran the time. His run-home time of 12.96 from the back market, Launceston, is believed to be a record. So that underscores the whole performance. So you just expect that this dog can now go on and probably contest and be very, very hard to beat in all the feature races. He's now got a clear passage through to the Melbourne Cup. He qualifies for that because he's won a group race this year. He doesn't have to contest a prelude. He's got races like the Shootout, the Top Gun. You know, it's just, the world's his oyster. It's just a matter of staying injury-free and being prepared for them.
Rick Puccinelli told me that no greyhound's ever broken 13 home at Launceston, and we've got to remember that the track was a little bit rain affected.
It wasn't overly flash, and 30 and 76, we know he trialled 30 and 45, and it would just be nice to see what the others might have done if they'd got the clear crack at them, but that's greyhound racing.
All right, well, let's have a listen to what winning trainer Ruth King and also the greyhounds caretaker trainer in Tasmania had to say after the win.
Ever since the state final, we decided that we'd send the dog straight away to Tasmania, and he comes straight down here to Angus and Elaine's, and we were lucky enough to have the master himself that wanted to come on holidays, and he come down for guidance to them and put him through the traps here he had 2 looks at this track, and it was the best thing that ever could possibly have happened.
Jimmy, a couple of weeks ago, Terry said he contacted you. Was there a moment's hesitation to come down here?
Well, there was, because I'd been up in Darwin, and he said, would you take the dog? I said, no. And he said, oh, look, he said, I beg you. I said, oh, begged me? He said, yes. I said, well, you'll have to bring Christine down from Queensland. And so they did that. They flew her down. And I said, where is it, Sandown, or where is it? He said, no, Launceston. I said, oh my God, I said, I'll freeze to death. But the people we stayed with, the Evanses, looked after us like a king. And we've had a wonderful time down here. The secretary made it easiest for us to trial, and we couldn't be happier the way we've been looked after. And the dog settled in beautiful, and he raced well, so that was the main thing.